started moving slowly on the desert sand at night, following the stars along their course, with the moon as a companion, counting every step, looking for that one true horse. That one true horse, the perfect partner built to ride. One true horse, a bond that cannot be denied. You would search forever just to have the chance to take a ride on one true horse. You're 1,000 miles from somewhere you can never be again, from a life defined by solitude and force. So you keep on looking forward with an eye over your shoulder, looking for that one true horse. That one true horse, the perfect partner.
With the preschool department, and you're watching the weekly roundup. Good morning, Sheriff.
Well, good morning, Miss Smith. How are you doing? Michelle, good morning. Thank you for tuning in. We saw Michelle posted a comment right as we were coming on. Good morning, Michelle. Good to see you. It's Western Day here at Grace Christian School, and we have a packed weekly roundup for you. If you drink water or if you drink coffee, I strongly suggest that you grab yourself a bevy, sit back and relax, because we have a great deal of information to go over today. It's jam-packed. I was getting information from teachers within the last 4 or 5 minutes to post and put in the show. It was really quite something. Hey, you know what? This is the weekly roundup where people come to hear about Grace Christian School and all of the amazing things that happen here or are going to be happening. And I'm your host, Sheriff P. And this happens every Wednesday about 9:15. We've got a big crowd here today. Let's see, Jamie, good morning. It's good to have you here. And Amanda, good morning. Good to see you. And Debbie, good morning. It's great to see all of you. Wow, we have a really big group in store today. It's good to see all of you as we're moving right along. Let's see here. Subscribe. So if you're new to the channel and watching the weekly roundup, I strongly encourage you to subscribe. The reason for that is if we go live, it lets you know that there's information there. If you ring that bell, it will notify you immediately. Justin, top of the morning to you. Another one of our regulars tuning in. Good to have you here today. Anyway, if you subscribe to the channel and you ring that bell, it's going to let you know immediately when we go live. Something else I want to tell you about. I've been asking for a basketball coach the last couple of weeks, and we have a basketball coach, we have a football coach, and tryouts are coming this next week. Information is going home with our students up in the upper grades, junior high and fifth, about our basketball program for girls. It's girls basketball season, and it's boys flag football season. So look forward to that information. It will be coming out very soon. Hey, I've also talked to you about Western Day, and that is today. It's the Western Day. We have tons of people dressed up in Western wear. Yes, this is a real cowboy hat. I really use it when I go riding. And some have asked, what is that? Whoop, I turned the opposite way. What's that feather? That's a turkey feather from my daughter's house. My daughter and my son-in-law raised turkeys 2 years ago and slaughtered, I think, 25 turkeys, prepared them for Thanksgiving, and that was one of the feathers that my grandson saved for me. They were great turkeys, excellent Thanksgiving. It's great when you know what the turkey's eating, and they are just big plump birds ready for Thanksgiving. But it is Western Day here at Grace, and everybody is really excited, and they're enjoying the day. And let's move on to our next topic. It is the blood drive with the City of Hope. I'm happy to report we're up to 35 people so far that have signed up to give blood. Blood is the gift of life. We need at least 15 more people to fill up our 50 slot commitment that we made to the City of Hope. You know what? If you're at work, ask a friend. If you're at church, ask someone in your Bible study, your small group. Ask a neighbor, ask a relative if they would be willing to come give blood also. There's the QR code. You can go on, you can sign up. It's painless. And you know what? They will also provide you with a $10 gift card to In-N-Out. Yay, girls basketball could still use more people. So happy we have a team. Yes, we can always use more people. I understand we had some more signups yesterday or last night, and so we want to continue to push that. Kimberly, good morning. Good to see you tuned in. Thanks for tuning in to the weekly roundup. But hey, we need 15 more volunteers to sign up to give blood, the gift of life. The City of Hope is a noble organization. They make the difference, and they change families' lives by helping families with cancer. And this is a small way that we can help them. Next thing I want to talk to you about is Thursday. Tomorrow, we get out of school at 11:30. It's in-service day. It's important that you pick up your kids at 11:30 or let them know they need to go to daycare. There is no charge for daycare from 11:30 to 3:15 when they would traditionally be here in school or waiting for you at car line. The one important thing that everyone needs to know is the cafeteria is closed on in-service days when we release at 11:30. You need to send your child with a sack lunch on those days so that they have something to eat. If we find it early enough in the day that they don't have a lunch, we'll call you so that you can come drop something off. If not, we try to figure out a way to get them fed so that they don't go hungry. This week we're working on WASC. We have our big WASC visit, as I told you, coming up in March, and so the teachers are diligently working on that, this in-service and the next. But there's something I want to share with you. We have a very special guest speaker coming. That's Cynthia Tobias. Mary, good morning. Thank you for tuning in. I'm glad that you're here. Mary has been very busy with her team. They're working on putting together a huge fall carnival for us, and she's part of PST, and they've got some great things in store for us. Let's get back to Cynthia Tobias. Cynthia is a world-renowned speaker. She has tons of books. Here's one, Every Child Can Succeed. You Can't Make Me, But I Can Be Persuaded, along with dozens of other books. She's appeared on I can't even get things straight here. Focus on the Family, and she's been with Dr. James Dobson. She has spoken at a number of Christian conferences for parents and for educators. She is world-renowned. I just finished reading her book, You Can't Make Me, But I Can Be Persuaded, and it is an excellent book. I strongly encourage you to pull out your calendars right now, pull out your devices, and write down November 2nd, right there, the 23rd, November 2nd, 2023, from 6 o'clock to 7:30. We are expecting a large group, and so we've talked to Neighborhood Church, and they are going to let us use their church, their sanctuary, to host this. So Cynthia will be here in the day, providing an in-service for our classroom teachers, providing them with strategies, how to manage their classrooms, and then she will be meeting with you, parents. Now, this isn't open to just our parents. If you have neighbors or friends or relatives that could really benefit from hearing Cynthia, I strongly encourage you to bring them along. We have plenty of seating over at Neighborhood Church, and you will be glad that you invested this time to hear her. In addition, I have some 90-second clips that starting next week, I'll be playing those clips, and it's going to give you a little insight under the tent about what she is talking about and what she's going to be talking about from all of her books. Debbie says she is looking forward to it. Yes, we are looking forward to having her here. We were extremely blessed to be able to get her from her extremely busy speaking schedule. It just was a God thing that it worked out. And I will tell you, those of you who have seen Cynthia or heard her speak will know the blessing and the knowledge that she has. She has raised twin boys. She considers herself a strong-willed person or a strong-willed child. So even if you have the best child in class, you need to come listen to Cynthia, because she's going to give you techniques and strategies to deal with other people in your life also. So Cynthia is coming November 2nd. I look forward to seeing many of you there. The next thing I want to talk about is... Kimberly says, thank you for that. I want to invite a neighbor. Yes, this is a ministry outreach for us, and we believe it is important. Invite your neighbors. If you have a relative, a sister, a sibling, a brother who has children that you're trying to figure out a nice way to tell them, hey, your child needs some help or you need some help parenting your child, hey, you know what? Come with me tonight and listen to Cynthia Tobias. You'll be glad you did. I have this field trip thing up here and playing Wheels on the Bus. Many of us can think back to all of the wonderful field trips that we've gone on in school, when we were in elementary school or junior high or even in high school. We're all here at Grace Christian School for a couple of reasons. Number one, we all want to honor God. We all want to have our kids educated in a place that we use the Bible as the holy word, the inspired word of God, and that's what all of our teachings are centered around. We also want a good quality education, and you're going to get that here. And you want to eliminate the nonsense and noise that's going around. Unfortunately, in the state of California and in the United States right now, there is a lot of noise that is out there that we want to shelter our kids from. We still want to do field trips. Now, if you look around in the world, any place that isn't a church or a Christian organization or has strong morals, they are going to be held to the standards that the world is putting in place, the United States or the state of California. And a perfect example of that would be, let's look at the Orange County Fairgrounds. The Orange County Fairgrounds is in Costa Mesa, and it's in Orange County on government property, and they have Centennial Farms there. If you look at the Orange County Fair where we do field trips, they have to have non-discriminatory policies that are in place. And within those policies and within their statements of hiring and restrooms, there are things that we fundamentally do not agree that are not biblically correct. Should that stop us from doing a field trip? If we said this is going to be the line that we draw, there would be hardly any. The only places we could go for field trips would probably be Chick-fil-A and In-N-Out and churches. Good morning. Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in. So what we do is we have these field trips and we surround our students with faculty and parent volunteers, and we protect our kids when we're at these locations. I know that some of these places might have different bathroom policies, and that's why we send chaperones, so that we're with the child. If we see a situation like that in a bathroom, we're not going to let one of our students go in there and be exposed to it. We will use it as a teaching opportunity to share biblical principles with them, so they'll be able to address sin. And that is why we send our chaperones, and that's why we send our teachers with the students on field trips. We want to continue to do field trips, and we want to continue to protect our kids the best we can. And it's just an extreme dilemma that we're facing now in the world. We believe that we need to continue to surround our kids with the armor of God, and we need to educate them in the Bible so when they're in the world they can defend their faith. And we don't want to stop going to these places like Astro Camp, Rawhide Ranch, Centennial Farms, and places like that where our kids can understand the great world and the great creation that God has given us. And we're going to use our Christian teachers and our parents to protect our kids and continue to keep them on the right track. So thank you for protecting our kiddos. Brittany, you are more than welcome. Yes, that is our challenge and that is our goal in a daily basis, protecting them spiritually and protecting them socially and physically is a big task that we undertake. And we know it's not one thing or another. And we have these conversations. We just talked about field trips this last week about our students going out and reiterating what we need to do to shield our kids from these situations, or immediately be able to address it with a child and tell them the biblical principles behind it, and not just lock ourselves away in a classroom and not go out anywhere. Because at some point you're going to take your child to a grocery store, you're going to go to McDonald's, or you're going to do something, and your child's going to see something, or they may be with someone else and see it. We want to be in a Christian environment where we can teach them and be prepared to defend their faith and grow so that they can continue to expand the great kingdom of Christ here in the United States. So that's field trip. I wanted to share a little bit about that with you, that we're continuing looking at our field trips. Next thing I want to talk to you about is street sweeping. I had a mom come in and say, hey, I want to drop off my kid, but I can't drop off my child and because I'll get a ticket. And you won't get a ticket. You will if you park on the street on Monday after 9 a.m. So if you look at the sign here, if you have drop off, you drop into preschool or elementary or junior high and you park on the street, school starts at 8:30, so you should definitely be back to your car by 9 o'clock so you can avoid a ticket. This was intentionally done with the city to allow for drop off in the morning for our schools. So that is a safe thing. Justin says GCS is a true sanctuary from all the madness out there. Thank you, Justin. We try to be. We have an outstanding staff. We have tremendous parents that all work together. And I'm going to share with you in a little bit here about another way that this is truly a sanctuary. But with the parking on the street, on street sweeping day, you should be safe as long as you're done by 9 a.m. So Justin kind of like just threw me a softball that we can kind of hit out of the park. Can you feel it? We could feel our campus today being surrounded in prayer. Our mom's prayer group and parent prayer group was here, and they just finished walking our campus, giving us a protection of prayer all across. They prayed by classrooms, they prayed by doorways, they prayed in buildings, they prayed throughout the entire campus. Just that prayer of protection for us, the prayer that what we do is pleasing to God, the prayer that we can share the gospel with our students and with parents and with those who come on this campus who may not have a relationship. Our Moms in Touch group, Mom's Prayer group is amazing. They meet every Wednesday. If you'd like more information, reach out to the school office. We'll get that to you. We'll send some more flyers home. I strongly encourage you, if you're available on Wednesday mornings, to come out, join the prayer group, and just continue to pray for our students, your families, our staff, and for our country and our nation. Let's see here. It says, thank you, Dr. P, for looking into parking for me. You are more than welcome. I'm glad I could do that. We talked to the city and we wanted to double check it, so we went out and took a picture of the sign, because sometimes you can't just trust what they're saying. Remind everyone to stop people. Remind everyone to stop for people in the crosswalks. Almost got hit by a blue Tesla in the parking lot. Yes. If you're in a crosswalk, you need to stop for individuals. That's a very good point. Thank you very much. As you're going through, parents, that's why I tell you, make sure your heads are on a swivel. Parents, you need to pay ultimate attention when you're driving in car lines. So we all need to work together to keep each other safe. But like I said, can you feel it? Yes, we can feel the protection of prayer on our campus. And they're not only praying for us here, but when we go on field trips and everything like that. Next thing I want to share with you is an alternative to Girl Scouts. If you're not interested in going into Girl Scouts because you're concerned about some of the things that they may be talking about in Girl Scouts, it's important for you to understand Heritage Girls is a special alternative to that. I'll get to these here in a few seconds, but Heritage Girls is a great alternative. Now, we do have some Girl Scout troops that are on our campus that are pretty amazing, because they're Christian-based parents and that are running these groups, and they keep them in check. But if you're looking for an alternative, American Heritage Girls is wonderful. It's you'll see there they have a meeting coming up on the 22nd. You can look here and get more information by visiting their website, and strongly encourage American Heritage Girls. It's a great program. So let me go back here through some of these things. Let me go way back here. Remind everyone to stop. Okay, we talked about that one. And let's see. Dr. P, can you please talk about AB 957? Parents must affirm children's gender identity, and if GCS will adhere to that bill. GCS will not adhere to that. If you have been around with Grace Christian School, I strongly support parents' rights, and we use the Bible as the holy word, inspired word of God, and that's how we run our school. And we're protected because we're an independent Christian school. Our attorneys are also continuing to look for other ways daily how they can protect us. Those of you who have been around through COVID know that we protected your rights to have your kids here. We protected you against having to get the vaccine if you chose not to. We protected you about masks. We did everything we could, and I will fight my last breath to protect you. We've all seen churches and other schools that fold. I will refuse to fold. I'll do everything I can to ensure that you, as parents, have the ultimate power with your child's education, and that it will confirm to the Bible as we continue to teach. So let's see here. I hope that answered your question, Sophie. And I have more information on that assembly bill coming. And there's also two others right now that they're trying to couple with that. And I'm not prepared to speak fully on them, but I will very soon. And Debbie says, I noticed that the second crosswalk isn't there anymore. Is that permanent? Yes, it is, because the second crosswalk was just causing confusion. There's one at the front, and there's the one at the back. The police department recommended we got rid of that one and focused everybody to the other one. So that's kind of where that is on our campus. I hope that answered your question, Debbie. Mary Murphy says, yay, congratulations. And let's see here. Brandy says, and please, people to park in the spots if they're going to walk up rather than parking in the drop-off. Absolutely. We've talked about that, Brenda. You are not allowed to park in drop-off. You could receive a parking ticket, and we'll go over that again. Last week, we actually had a little parody song, and you'll hear it again later today. So yes, that is something we've talked about. Do not park in drop-off. It's for dropping off. And I will say that Carline has gotten 100 times better this year than last year. We have a lot of parents that are really doing some things. Let's see here. Amanda Blythe says, congratulations on being selected as Cypress's 2022 Citizen of the Year. It's great to see you being recognized for everything you do for our kids. Yes, thank you very much. Right as we went out on break at the beginning of summer, I was recognized as Citizen of the Year for the city of Cypress, and I can't thank all of you enough for your well wishes. I'm very humbled. I don't feel I deserve it, but I gratefully accept it, and I consider it a privilege to be able to serve God here at Grace Christian School and continue to help people within the community. So Amanda, thank you so much for saying that. Wendy, I do miss the designated preschool parking lot, parking spaces that need to walk our little ones in. Curious if we can bring those back. We will continue to look at it, but we have found that since we have eliminated those, the parking is going far smoother because we've actually added 3 more parking spots out there overall, and we're beginning to think that might be the reason we're seeing a smoother transition, where when we just had the preschool spots picked up for a small portion of our students, those spots were locked up for the whole day, and in Carline, we'd have people just driving by empty spots. So right now, I don't know if we're going to bring it back. We will continue to evaluate it. I can't say a hard no, Wendy, or a hard yes. It is being evaluated. Sophie says amen. Justin gives a big clap. Debbie says thumbs up. And Brenda gives a clap and amen. And let's see, Mary Murphy, same thing. And we will be right there with you, Dr. P. Justin says, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yes, we are Grace Christian School strong as we serve the Lord. My goal isn't to pick fights with anyone. My goal is to protect your rights as parents, the rights that God gave each one of us. Me, as I raised 3 wonderful children, and now I have 8 grandchildren, a 9th one on the way, is what we do. And Brian says, God bless you, Dr. P. We're right next to you. Thank you very much. It's appreciate your dedication to our kids. Thank you, sir. Brian, I greatly appreciate it. And you guys that know me know that that's how we are. We spend a great deal of time every morning looking at what legislation is coming. I've talked to a few of you about some things that we have in the hoops, in the hopper, that we are going to be putting into place that are behind the scenes, things that you see, but things that will protect us down the road and protect our students, because quite honestly, things seem to be getting quite out of control and spiraling even more. Love Grace Christian School. Wish I could keep my kids there through high school as well. Jamie, we wish we could have a high school, and I'm not ever going to say never going to happen. We're continually looking at it and continuing to find ways to possibly make it happen. We're talking to different groups, different organizations, and it really just comes down to property and size. And Debbie says, me too, Jamie. And let's see here. Michelle says, me too. High school would be amazing for our kiddos. Michelle, thank you very much for that. it is a common theme that we hear about that. So it's something we will look into. Next is earthquake drills. Yesterday, your little cherubs probably came home and told you that we had an earthquake drill yesterday. And I want to tell you, for the first earthquake drill of the school year, it was extremely smooth. Our kids had a great understanding of how to protect themselves. Our teachers talked about what to do. And that's just one of many drills that we do. We have a fire drill coming next, and those are pretty standard that kids deal with all the time. And from the fire drill, we will be going to a lockdown drill, and then after that, we just go back and forth. And let's see here. Anyway, I was just double checking. It was from the office. I'm telling you, I've been getting a lot of additions added to, you know what? It is hot off the presses. So we're doing earthquake drills and everything like that we want to keep our kids safe. And whenever we have a drill, I always share that with you. So hot off the presses, that's what the ding was about. Here we go. Class competitions for PST are just now coming in. And here's this week's leaderboard. In preschool through third grade, we have Mrs. Frazier, Mrs. Fakney, and Mrs. Cadiz are the leaders there. And in fourth grade through eighth, Mr. Caselli, Miss Ziegler, and Mrs. Carr. Congratulations. Don't forget to sign up for PST. We see that many of you are. You're hitting that QR code and you're doing that. It's great. We have a great PST. Brenda Baumgart, our president, who just got this to me, is outstanding. There are so many that are always doing things, that are always stopping by the office. Like Mary's always checking in about here's what we're doing. Restaurant nights are coming. They really are doing a ton of things, like the skate night that they brought back at the beginning of the school year. That was just a lot of fun. So let's check. Oh my goodness, we are over 70 viewers right now. So we are getting a lot. Kimberly says, yay, Mrs. Frazier. Yes, Mrs. Frazier's class, along with 5 others, did a terrific job. And Brenda says, yes, a high school would be amazing. I would agree with that. So it is something we're looking at. Let's see here. Next, we are in the final days of ordering spiritware. It's due on September 18th. Make sure those orders are into the office because Mrs. Mullaney will be compiling all those and getting them delivered off to our vendors so that they can get those delivered back to us. A pro tip, parents, please, please, please sign your kids' clothes. Write your last name, their room number, their clothes, their lunchbox, any property that they bring to school. That way we can get it back to you. We are already starting to get, I saw Mrs. Brachet out there with a couple other moms putting together a new lost and found rack, and we really need to put your names of your children on there so we can get that property back to you. Mrs. Brachet, I told her, man, we're gonna have to put a whole wing on for lost and found. But anyway, let's see here. So that's coming up. Mary Murphy's right on it. Islands is next week. Let me put that up here so everyone can see that. Islands is next week. So get ready for that. We will be sending flyers home that you will take with you to Islands. Islands is a great place because you can get up and walk around and say hi to everybody. And let's hear Debbie Novinger says, thank you for all of your hard work, Mary. Yes, Mary and Brenda and Mrs. Brachet and the rest of the team, Mrs. McKay, oh my goodness, there's tons of parents that are always out there helping. So let's hear, that is the spiritware. And then shout to the Lord. Yes, we've had our music assembly. We're having kids that are signed up for flute, for clarinet, for trombone, for saxophone, for clarinet, for drums, you name it, and piano. People have started signing up. Rehearsals have started. Practices have started. And if you need more information, you need to reach out to Mrs. Cabrera or Mr. Moses, and they will share that with you. So make sure you talk to your kids. If your kid or child is one that is in instrumental music, please talk to them because practice has started and so has rehearsals. Mary says, of course. Of course she would say, of course. Anyway, that's our music. And let's see. What better way to get back to the school than to be a substitute? Not just a substitute teacher, but get on our list in case one of our facility guys is out. You can help be a substitute on the facilities team, in the kitchen, in the office, you name it, on the playground. We're always looking to have a list in case someone gets sick or they need to go somewhere, and that way we can call to the list. The first choir rehearsal is today. I have a very excited third grader. That is great, Debbie. Thank you for sharing that. So if your child is in choir, you probably know this, that rehearsal is today. If you didn't know it, rehearsal's today. But we have a wonderful music program. We have a ton of gifted musicians that are our classroom teachers that teach instrumental and vocal music. So if you aren't involved yet, there's still a chance that you can. So that goes back to music. Classroom teachers, we need classroom teacher subs. We need all the different subs that I've talked about. We would love to have you on the sub list. If you want to do that, contact Christy O'Rue in the office, koru@gcsrr.org, or you can call the office at 714-761-5200, and we'll be happy to help you. In and out, that's what a hamburger's all about. Now, one way you can get a $10 gift card is by giving blood at the City of Hope blood drive, and we hope that you do that. But you know what? What is a great gift from a Christian company that puts Bible verses on the bottom of their cups than to give a $10 gift card to your paperboy, to your dog walker, to your stylist, but In-N-Out gift cards. We have In-N-Out gift cards available here in $10 increments in the office. If you're interested in purchasing one, stop in, see Barbara, and fill out a script form. We can sell you an In-N-Out gift card. They make great stocking stuffers, they make great gifts, and they are wonderful to have in the trunk of your car or in some place where if you pull into In-N-Out, you have it. Oh my goodness, look who is tuning in today. You can't believe it, but it's the one and only Susan Clark, Mrs. Clark, our 5th grade teacher who just retired. Mrs. Clark, I'm looking forward to coming back as a sub next week. Mrs. Clark, we can't wait to see you back on campus. We hope that you are enjoying the retired life. Mrs. Clark, if you don't know her, she's an amazing 5th grade teacher who's been with us for many, many years and decided to retire this year to spend more time with her kids and her grandkids. So, Mrs. Clark, good to see you. Say hello to Bob for us. Look forward to seeing you on campus. So don't forget those In-N-Out gift cards. Stop in the office, pick one up. They're $10 a piece, or keep a few in hand at home. Teachers always love getting these with a kind note that says, hey, thanks for what you do for my child. Go have a double-double on me.
The white zone is for immediate loading and unloading of passengers only. There is no stopping.
So the white zone is for loading. So earlier in the program here, we talked about we wish people would not park in the white zone to get out of their car. You're absolutely right. We've talked about this, and also not parking in that other area there. 99.33, what is that? Well, I worked car line a couple days ago, and we had over 300 cars come through. 300 cars, and it was a extremely smooth car line. It went very quick. We didn't really have cars on Myra or Denny at all very long, and there were only 2 parents out of 300. That means 99.33% of you got it right who did not have their car line tags to pick up. And we let them know, as I've shared in numerous weekly roundups, that if you don't have your car line tag, you need to park and walk up to get your child. The first parent I talked to, she parked, she came up, she wasn't real impressed with it, the whole situation, and she's been here for a couple of years and wasn't happy with the fact that I was requiring it, and asked how I told the parents. I said, well, we've had it in the weekly roundup and everything like this. And then the other one you'll find quite funny. Another parent goes, well, how was I supposed to know about this? And she'd been here a couple of years also. And she goes, oh, is it in that show that you do every week? I guess that's the weekly roundup. I said, yeah, it is. She goes, I don't like that show. I go, I don't either. And I guess we're even. I think she might have snickered on the way off. But anyway, we have talked about car line tags since before school in the pregame show. We talked about them last year. So if you're a returning parent, this is old school. If you're a new parent, we've talked about this in numerous weekly roundups. Those are here. They help us know who to put, which child to put into your car, how to quickly identify the car, where to send you in car line, because if sometimes we move around out there. And the next thing is, we know that if you have this car line pass, that you understand and will abide by our rules to be on campus to keep all of our kids safe. Let's see here. Elizabeth, thank you very much. Is there plans to bring back the Spanish program? Currently, we evaluated a program that we looked at bringing back, just didn't seem appropriate. I sent it out to 2 of our teachers. They evaluated it, and so we asked 2 more. And it's very difficult in the labor market to get someone who's willing to work part-time in elementary Spanish. So we're continuing to shop. If we can find someone, that's what we'll do. But in the meantime, there's not a plan. We've even looked at doing a virtual Spanish program, and that's still potentially out there, but I'm not getting full buy-in from the classroom teachers, and that's what's very important as we do something like that. So yeah, I miss Spanish too, or I miss Spanish also, and you'll be happy to know, though, that our Spanish program is so strong in our junior high, our 6th, 7th, and 8th, that as our kids are moving through our Spanish program, they are stepping into Spanish 2 and Spanish 3 at Los Alamitos High School and the high school. So that is one of the things that we're going for. Yes, we are, for a number of reasons, families would love to come here for Grace Christian School, and Spanish is one of those. And unfortunately, there is change, and we try to do it. If I could have a Spanish teacher delivered on my porch today, we'd have Spanish tomorrow. But all of those things have to work out, and the parents that have been around a long time know that we'll always try to do things like that to get going. So let's see here. Car line, which is extremely important. I want you to get your attention back on car line, that keeping the kids safe is what's important. So 99.33% of our families follow the guidelines. Now, the last thing is to show you, Cypress PD has been out there continuously helping keep things safe. And they're happy to say they have only given out about 7 tickets. And a couple of those weren't even to our parents, so I'm happy to say that. And we're continuing to move, and I appreciate you watching this, and you guys are working so hard at keeping all of our kids safe. This picture right here is on September 11th in the morning. And if you look at that tree right there, that is the survivor tree. And what is the survivor tree? The survivor tree is a tree that was in Oklahoma City during the bombing, and when it got bombed, that tree survived. They gave parts of that tree across the country to other places, and at the World Trade Center, there were a number of trees that were there during the attacks, and this was one of the trees, along with a pear tree and a couple of others, siblings of the original survivor tree in Oklahoma City, that survived. And so we were fortunate enough to get a seedling of that tree about 7 years ago. We had a firefighter come, and we planted the tree on campus, and it was a great thing that we had the firefighter on campus, and we were able to focus on 9/11 and what happened that day. So September 11th, as you know, is Patriots Day, and right there, if you look at that picture with the tree, that is our very own Mr. McDonald standing in front of the original, the one and only survivor tree in Oklahoma City. And if you kind of look back, let me go back here, that looks like it's taking the shape and form of the school. So anyway, that's what we're doing. Let's see, can we bring breakfast back in the morning before school? That's something that we can look at and move forward with. And we had it for a short time. We didn't seem to have a lot of kids eating the breakfast, so it really wasn't cost effective to have it and to move forward. Vision. I hope all of you have signed up for Vision. It's free, and it really helps our kids be able to see better in class or identify vision problems early. Let's see, your picture day is September 26th and 27th. If you are interested in having your child's picture portfolio for home, you will receive a packet. It looks like this. Here it is. This is the packet. And fill it out, and you can determine what pictures you'll get. All the kids get a picture so that we can do the yearbook and everything like that. So picture day is the 26th and 27th. More information will be coming home about that at a later point. Let's see your kickoff. The fall fundraiser is coming on September 21st, and that's Charleston Wrap. You will be, oh, look at that. You can't even see it. You'll be receiving this about the kickoff on the 21st. And that is a great program that we have. So let's see. Let me just clear off some of these last things. I think there would be, parents, homework club, if we can do it. I'm sure there'd be parents pay for additional service. We will reevaluate it again this year. Let's see here. I'm trying to scan back down. We'll continue to reevaluate that, Sheila, as far as parents possibly paying for after-school homework club. And homework club was something that we had that allowed parents to get tickets to send kids to help them with homework after school, right after school through the Learning Center. So that's what the homework club was. Last week, we talked about 5 things that you need to know. And they were important things. Let's see. Yeah, used to offer homework. Basically what you just shared. So 5 things that you need to know. And we talked about this. These are 5 things that I used in raising my kids. And if you take these 5 things and you use them as you work with your life and you work with your kids, it will make a huge difference. The first thing was love God. Love your Lord, your God, with all your heart, with all your soul, and all your mind, and with all your strength. And that's Mark 12:30. Last week, I talked a little bit more about loving God. So that's number 1 in your top 5 things. Number 2 is putting others first. It's very biblical to put others first. And here's the verse that goes with that. Love your neighbor as yourself. There's no greater commandment than these. And that's Mark 12:21. So if you're loving God, you are going to be loving others, and you're going to be helping put others first. It's very important. So if you have a put others first attitude, you're going to feel good about yourself. You're going to feel good that you're helping others, and you're going to be making a difference in other people's lives. And when you do that, they're going to feel good, and they're going to share that with other people. And it's just so biblical. As we go through the next 3 more weeks, we'll have 5 things that are really simple, 5 Bible biblical principles that we put together that will make a difference in your life. And they're pretty wonderful. You know, why are we sharing this in the weekly roundup? Because I think it's important that we start to get a foundation of how we can help educate our kids together. And if there's something that you might be working on at home, sharing these principles with them every week. This could make great dinner conversation for the week. Hey, let's talk about ways that we can put other kids first, or other families first, or other people first at church. Talk about those that are less fortunate than you. Last week, if you talked all week about loving God, and you do that this week, you've got 2 of the 5 principles that will make a huge difference in your life, and I am positive will make a huge difference in your child's life as they continue to grow up. Anyway, we live in an amazing country. Even with all of the issues that we are facing, we live in the greatest country in the world, and it's because of people like you who are believers, who pray, who support our country, who support Christian education, and we just need to continue to work together. The Warrior Kid books, those are excellent books. I love those, Justin. We need to continue to circle the wagons, be together, and help be each other's keepers. And just know that we need to be patriotic and really respect our country. And we do that in class. We teach our kids to love our country, and that they can make a difference by voting, by being educated, and by going to church. They will be the future of our country that can make change for the better and make a country that will glorify God. You know, we're so blessed, and that's why we do Patriots Day. That's why we do Veterans Day and Memorial Day, and we talk to our kids about that. And we also have the Hall of Heroes, where we honor those brave men and women who have supported our country through the military and also are in law enforcement and fire. And we bring that up all the time because, unfortunately, there's so many other public sections that don't want to talk about that, and they villainize those individuals who are doing those things to provide us with the freedoms we have. So parents, I can't thank you enough for continually praying for us as a school, and we will continue to pray for you as we have our meetings and things of that nature. The parents that come on Wednesday and pray, we can't thank you enough. It's simply amazing, and you know what? We can feel it on a daily basis. Justin, thank you for the Warrior Kid. Great series there, but here you go, 2 things, and we got 3 more to go. And I pray that God blesses the trails you.
Hello, everybody. It is my happy privilege to introduce a new song, God Bless America.